Good morning, all of you. We are now having botany session. In the last week, we had this botany session. We commenced the topic photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process by which plants synthesizes their own food material. We discussed about the introduction and the basic principles of photosynthesis. Mr. Mahesh Kumar, PGT, TSMS Navipet, Nizamabad district, will take us further into this chapter. He will recapitulate the things and he will take us into the world of photosynthesis once again. Mr. Mahesh, welcome. Please commence your session.
Hi students, welcome once again to webinar session. In previous class, we learnt about the autotrophs, how they prepare their food by means of photosynthesis. And the required material for photosynthesis are water, light, pigments, and carbon dioxide. At last, absorption spectrum, absorption of light by different pigments. And next, the action spectrum, which indicates the rate of photosynthesis. So this is total we completed in webinar 1 in chapter photosynthesis in higher plants. In next webinar session, we completed that the structure of chloroplast, light harvesting complexes, that is photosystem 2 and photosystem 1, which consist chlorophyll molecules along with carotenoids and xanthophylls, how they trap solar energy and convert into chemical energy. That is light reaction, and total process of light reaction is completed. At last, the formation of ATP and NADPH. In webinar 2, we have completed all this. And comes to webinar 3, we started with the dark reaction, that is Calvin cycle. In Calvin cycle, the ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, which receives carbon dioxide with the help of Rubisco enzyme, forms phosphoglyceric acid.
2.8 kilometers straight at.
And after that, the phosphoglyceric acid converts into glycerolate 3 phosphate by reduction process. And glycerolate 3, among these glycerolate 3 phosphate, few are goes to cytosol and remaining all go to regeneration of RUBP. This total cycle runs 6 times. Hence, for every CO2 molecule entering in a Kelvin cycle, it needs 3 ATP and 2 NADPH required. If the cycle runs 6 turns, so how many ATPs and how many NADPH are needed? Means to prepare one glucose molecule, 18 ATPs and 12 NADPH. 6 into 3, 18, and 6 into 2 NADPH, 12 NADPH are required for completing Calvin cycle to prepare one glucose molecule that we are completed in webinar 3 session. As I continues to webinar 4, I'm going to in a more deep in a photosynthesis process. Here in C3 plants, we have learned that Calvin cycle, there is a problem in C3 plants. The RUBP receives carbon dioxide and form phosphoglycerate, which is a 3-carbon compound. RUBP also takes oxygen and form phosphoglycolate. So, RUBP taking CO2 or oxygen, it is depends on Rubisco enzyme. Rubisco enzyme is a ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate carboxylase and oxidase, which work for both. It will do carboxylation process, it will do oxygenation process. It depends on the proportion or the ratio of CO2 and oxygen. The ratio of carbon dioxide is more, it will let RUBP to receive carbon dioxide to form phosphoglycerate. If the oxygen percentage is more, it will let the RUBP to receive oxygen and to start photorespiration. When RUBP receives oxygen, a photorespiration process starts, it is a very wasteful process for the C3 plants. The productivity of a glucose may reduce. This effect is called Warburg effect. So in C3 plants, due to this photorespiration, there is a less productivity. So in other plants, let's discuss in other plants, some plants adopted and make a change in their leaf structure to avoid photorespiration. Today class, let us know what are the modifications that had done in a different plants. See, the C4 pathway. The plants which are adapted to dry tropical regions, which play C4 pathway. In this, the CO2 fixation done by, instead of RUBP, it is received by PEP, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, and convert into oxaloacetic acid. And the first stable compound is oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4-carbon compound. That's why the cycle name is C4 cycle or C4 pathway. This cycle also called as Hutch and Slack pathway. Why? Because it is discovered by Hutch and Slack scientists. Now the question is, in what way these C4 plants are different from C3 plants? Now see the specialty of C4 plants. They have a special type of leaf anatomy, that is Crohn's anatomy. They tolerate high temperature. They lack photorespiration, and they have greater productivity of biomass. These are the specialty of C4 plants when compared to C3 plants. Now let us look in a Crohn's anatomy. This is a TSF leaf of sorghum and sugarcane. Kranz means wreath, means garland. Student, observe here in the middle of this leaf, the xylem, vessels and phloem is there. It is surrounded by a specialized cells. These are called bundle sheath cells. Means the specialized cells, they are surrounding and making a sheath around the vascular bundle. That's why it is called as bundle sheath cells. And here the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis and the stomata located more in a lower epidermis. Now in this picture we are going to discuss the specialty of C4 plants, how they are avoiding photorespiration. Simply, when the CO2 enters through the stomata, it is stored in air chambers. Later it moves to mesophyll cells. From mesophyll cells, the CO2 transfer into bundle sheath cells. In C4 plants, the C3 cycle completes in bundle sheath cell. Where it completes? The C3 cycle, Calvin cycle, completes in bundle sheath cells. Don't think that it is a C4 cycle. There is no Calvin cycle. In C4 cycle, Calvin cycle also there. But that is happen in bundle sheath cell. So when CO2 is moves from air chamber, from mesophyll to bundle sheath cell, these bundle sheath cells are far from the stomata. So there is no chance of increasing of oxygen levels in a bundle sheath. First point, these bundle sheath cells where the Calvin cycle is happening, these cells are far from the stomata. So there is no chance of increasing oxygen levels in bundle sheath cells. Next point, the Rubisco enzyme, which is responsible catching the oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is absent in mesophyll cells, which is present in bundle sheath cells. Suppose if Rubisco enzyme is present in mesophyll cells, when the oxygen concentration is more, there is a chance of getting oxygen and start photorespiration. But here there is no chance in C4 plants. Why? Because Rubisco is present in bundle sheath cells, absent in mesophyll cells. So there is no chance of taking oxygen to start photorespiration. These are the main point. What is the first point? The Calvin cycle is happening in bundle sheath cells which are far from stomata. There is no chance of increasing oxygen levels. And the second point, the Rubisco enzyme is present in bundle sheath cells, not in mesophyll cells. This is the main criteria, the adaptation of C4 plants. Let's take a note for this. Bundle sheath cells are categorized by a large number of chloroplast, thick wall, impervious to gases exchange, and no intercellular space. There is no space between the cells. They are impervious to gas. They won't allow any gases to inside. The Kranz anatomy can be observed by taking a transfer section of the leaves. So if you want to see the Kranz anatomy, we have to dissect a transfer section. We have to take a transfer section of maize or any sorghum, any grass family. And one more specialty is there in a chloroplast. In Kranz anatomy, we can find the dimorphic chloroplast. Dimorphic chloroplast means two types of chloroplast. What are they means? In bundle sheath cell, in chloroplast, the chloroplast is lacking of grana. The chloroplast which is present in bundle sheath cell, they lack grana, means thylakoids. The mesophyll cells which contain chloroplast, they are with abundant grana. So in bundle sheath cells, chloroplast is present, but grana is absent. In mesophyll cells also, chloroplast is present, but with abundant grana. So this is two types of chloroplast within a leaf. It is called dimorphic chloroplast. This is another adaptation in C4 plants. Let's go more information for C4 pathway. In C4 pathway, there are two types of cells are participating to complete photosynthetic process. One is mesophyll cells, another is bundle sheath cells. First, from atmosphere, the CO2 enters into mesophills through the stomata. Now, already told you in mesophyll there is no RUBP. Here, another molecule is phosphoenol pyruvic acid, which receives carbon dioxide and form a stable compound that is oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4-carbon compound. That's why this pathway is named as C4 pathway. And this oxaloacetic acid now forms malic acid. Next, the malic acid slowly diffuses into bundle sheath cells. The malate now splits into two molecules. One molecule CO2, another is pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound. Malate is a 4-carbon compound in which one carbon in the form of carbon dioxide released into bundle sheath cells and 3-carbon compound pyruvate is released. Now the pyruvic acid now diffuses slowly into mesophyll cells. By taking ATP, this pyruvate will convert into PEP, which again ready to take carbon dioxide to run the cycle continuously. Now children, what is the main theme here? Doing all these things to produce the glucose means the main thing to complete all this process to increase the concentration in bundle sheath cells. When malic acid is splits into carbon dioxide and pyruvic acid, now CO2 is received by RUBP. Now the Rubisco enzyme and RUBP present in bundle sheath cells, they will catch up the CO2 and forms phosphoglyceric acid, and now the Calvin cycle starts and the glucose is prepared. Now that glucose convert into starch or sucrose, which is later transport to vascular tissue. So here the dosal process is happening to increase the carbon dioxide level to go for more productivity than compared to C3 plants. Now let's take notes for C4 plants, C4 pathway. The primary CO2 accepts 3-carbon molecule like a phosphoenol pyruvic and form oxaloacetic acid. This enzyme responsible for fixation of is PEP carboxylase, and in mesophyll cells Rubisco is absent. C4 acid is oxaloacetic acid is formed in the mesophyll cells. PEP case then forms a 4-carbon compound like malic acid and aspartic acid in the mesophyll cells itself, which are transported to bundle sheath cells. Next, in bundle sheath cells, this malic acid broken down into CO2 and pyruvic acid. Next, the 3-carbon molecule is transported back to mesophyll where it is converted into PEP again to complete the cycle. The CO2 released in the bundle sheath cells enter into C3 cycle and completes to produce the glucose. The bundle sheath cells are rich in an enzyme ribulose bisphosphate carboxylate oxygenase but lack PEPKase. Thus, the basic pathway that results in a formation of sugars, the Calvin pathway is common for both C3 and C4. Now, let's take a calculation how many ATPs and how many NADPH are needed. In previous C3 cycle, at the end, we are calculated in the same way we have to calculate the ATP and NADPH needed to prepare one glucose molecule. Here, to complete the C4 cycle, 30 ATPs are needed and 12 NADPH is needed to form one glucose. There in C3 cycle, 18 ATPs and 12 NADPH, it is as it is. But what is the difference? Now 12 ATPs are increased here. Now more 12 ATP are utilized to increase the concentration level in bundle sheath cell. 18 ATP it is required for to run the C3 cycle and 12 more ATP are needed to increase the carbon dioxide in bundle sheath cells. This is the calculation for C4 cycle. Next, another pathway, that is CAM pathway. The abbreviation of CAM-ME is crassulacean acid metabolism. This process run in a special plants. The plants which are grown in a high temperature, dry area where the water availability is very, very less. Means it's simply to say in a desert area, those plants, the desert plants, adopted this type of mechanism to produce more glucose in a successful manner. So what is adaptation? Like C4 in cactus plants also there is adaptation. And this process run in a nighttime and daytime. The main difference compared to C4 and CAM, in C4 along with C3, it is happening in mesophyll and bundle sheath cell to go for more productivity. Now here, the difference is in time, nighttime and daytime. The problem is when these plants open their stomata in daytime, there is a chance of water loss in the form of water vapor. So automatically what it will do, it will close their stomata. They will shut down their stomata in a daytime. So when they shut down the stomata, there is no chance of entering a CO2 into the mesophyll cells. So what it will do? It will adopt a different pathway. That is, it will take the carbon dioxide at night time. The carbon dioxide in the form of bicarbonate received through the stomata at night time, and now it will run for C4 cycle. The PEP receives the carbon dioxide and form oxaloacetic acid. And this oxaloacetic acid forms malic acid. By utilizing ATP, this malic acid enters into vacuole. And it will stay for night in a vacuole. And next day, this malic acid enters into daytime in a vacuole. Now the malic acid slowly diffuses into chloroplast. Now this molecule, malic acid, diffuses into CO2 and pyruvic acid as it is in C4 cycle. What happened in C4 cycle? Now the CO2 by RUBP, it will complete the C3 cycle here. And now the pyruvic acid forms phosphoenol pyruvic acid and then it is ready to receive carbon dioxide. Means here C4 cycle is happening and C3 cycle happening. The same process is happening how in C3, C4 is done. But here the difference is night and daytime. In night time, they are trapping the carbon dioxide and slowly they are storing in the form of malic acid. In next day, the malic acid splitting into carbon dioxide and pyruvic acid and go for C3 cycle to produce a glucose. That is the main thing we have to concentrate. In CM pathway, the plants which are growing in a dry and high temperature area, which are lacking of water facility, they are adopted this type of pathway. Let's take a look again. Crassulacean acid metabolism, also called as CAM pathway, is an alternative to C3 and C4 pathways of carbon dioxide fixation, and which are the plants which are growing in a dry and hot climates, example cactus plants. Now Crassulaceae is a one family having this type of plants. That's why the metabolism is named as Crassulacean acid metabolism based on the family name. Now CAM pathway is similar to C4 pathway in that CO2 is trapped by highly efficient PEP carboxylase. Here also, when you are seeing that cycle, PEP is trapped the CO2. Instead of having two kinds of photosynthetic cells, CAM plants has only one kind of photosynthetic cell in which CO2 is fixed during the night and used to make a glucose during the day. So here the thing is the difference in day and night time only. In C4 plants, CO2 fixation and Kelvin are separated in space, while in CAM, they are separated in time only. Now let's take a look into the difference of C3 and C4 plants differences. Students, number of time this question asked in a public examination. So please concentration on this. The first difference is CO2 fixation take place in mesophyll cells. Here in C4, CO2 fixation take place in mesophyll and bundle sheath cells. So who is the acceptor in C3 plants? Which molecule accepts CO2? RUBP is accepts CO2 molecule. But in C4, it is PEP. The first stable compound in C3 plant is phosphoglyceric acid, which is a 3-carbon compound. But here in C4 plants, it is a oxaloacetic acid. That's why it is named as C3 and C4 based on the first stable compounds. Next, in C3 plants, had you seen any Cron's anatomy? No, there is no Cron's anatomy. There is no difference in chloroplast, a normal chloroplast seen. But here comes to C4 plants, there is a Cron's anatomy adaptation to do more productivity. And next, different granums are present in mesophyll cells and along with the bundle sheath cell, and that is called a dimorphic chloroplast. And the C3 plants, they are growing at 20 degrees to 25 degrees temperature. And C4, for C4 plants, the optimum temperature is 30 degrees to 45 degrees centigrade. Fixation in C3 plants, the fixation of CO2 at 50 parts per million. But here in C4 plants, the fixation of CO2 less than 10 part per million. The next is less efficient due to higher photorespiration. Means in C3 plants, photorespiration done. That's why they are less efficient to produce more glucose. But in C4 plants, there is an adaptation. The Cron's anatomy is there. They are more efficient and they won't have photorespiration compared to C3 plants. And RUBP carboxylase enzyme used for fixation. Here, PEP carboxylase used for carboxylase fixed. Here in C4 plants, PEP carboxylase is used and along with RUBP. So here 18 ATPs are utilized, but here 30 ATP, in that 12 more for increasing the concentration of CO2. And here the C3 plants more efficient in low CO2, but comes to C4, they are efficient in high concentration of CO2 also. They can produce more glucose. There is no problem when carbon dioxide percentage is increased also in environment. Take an example for C3 plants, you can take cereals and pulses like paddy wheat. Here, sugarcane, maize, and sorghum like grass family. So here, if you compare the both, we can conclude that C4 plant more efficient than the C3. The main thing is C3 plants, they are playing photorespiration. The C4 plants are not having photorespiration. Now, up to now, we are discussing the photorespiration, which is a very wasteful process in C3 cycle. Now, let us discuss the photorespiration. Photorespiration occur when Rubisco joins oxygen to RUBP in the first step. I already told you in introduction, when oxygen percentage is more, the Rubisco act as a oxygenate process. The Rubisco will do oxygenation process and receives oxygen. It will convert into a 2-carbon compound glycolate. That's why this cycle also called as C2 cycle. Whichever the compound oxygen or CO2 is present in higher concentration will be joined by Rubisco-2 or UBP. Photorespiration prevents the synthesis of glucose and utilizes the plant ATP. One thing, when photorespiration occur, there is a two loss. One is it will not form more glucose. Why? Because RUBP, when RUBP receives carbon dioxide, it will run C3 cycle and glucose percentage is more. But here RUBP is receiving oxygen, it is not going for C3 cycle to produce the glucose. That is a very loss. Another loss is the ATP, NADP, which is synthesized in light reaction, that is also totally consumed for this process. This is two loss with the photorespiration. When more CO2, Rubisco joins with the CO2 to RUBP and photosynthesis occurs and glucose produced nicely. When more oxygen is there, Rubisco joins oxygen to RUBP. Now there is no photosynthesis process. There is a photorespiration occur. Glucose is not produced. That is the main thing you have to concentrate here. Let's take a note for this. Photorespiration, also known as oxidative photosynthetic carbon cycle or C2 photosynthesis, C2 cycle, refers to a process in plant metabolism where the enzyme Rubisco oxygenates RUBP, wasting some of the energy produced by photosynthesis. The desired reaction in the addition of the carbon dioxide to RUBP, a key step in the Calvin-Benson cycle, but approximately 25% of reaction by Rubisco instead add oxygen to RUBP, creating a product that cannot be used within a Calvin-Benson cycle. This process reduces the efficiency and potentiality, reducing photosynthetic output by 25%. Means 75% is recovered, 25% will be not recovered. It is a very wasteful process for C3 plants. Photorespiration involves a complex network of enzyme reaction that exchange metabolites between chloroplast, leaf, peroxisomes, and mitochondria. Means in this process, three organelles are involved, that is chloroplast and peroxisome and mitochondria. And the oxygenases reduction Rubisco is a wasteful process because 3-phosphoglyceric is created a reduced rate and higher metabolic cost compared with RUBP carboxylase activity. While photorespiratory carbon cycling results in the formation of glycerol 3-phosphate, eventually around 25% of carbon fixed by photorespiration is re-released as a CO2 and nitrogen as ammonia. Here 75% is recovering. 25% of the phosphoglyceric acid is not recovering, and in this cycle some of the end products, that is carbon dioxide, nitrogen and ammonia is forming. These molecules are entering into another metabolic activities, but these metabolites are not reutilized and it is not useful for C3 cycle to form glucose. Now this is the two problems which creates by photorespiration, that is it will not produce any ATP and NADPH. It will not produce glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and reduce CO2 to glucose. Instead of that, it will consume all ATP and NADPH. So that's why photorespiration is called a wasteful process for C3 cycle. Now let's go for C2 cycle. Children, here observe carefully. So how many organelles are participating here? Mitochondria, peroxisome and chloroplast. First step in chloroplast, the ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate receives oxygen and it will convert into 2 molecule of phosphoglycolate and 2 molecule of PGA. This is the first stable compound, that is phosphoglycolate. It is a 2-carbon compound. That's why this cycle is called C2 cycle of photorespiration. So ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, when oxygen percentage is more, with the help of Rubisco, it will form phosphoglycolate. If here one molecule of RUBP will be there, means here one molecule of phosphoglycolate. RUBP is a 5-carbon compound, and here if you see the glycolate is 2-carbon molecule and PGI is a 3-carbon molecule. Combined together it will become 5-carbon compound. But here 2 RUBP, so here also the 2 molecule of phosphoglycolate and 2 molecule of phosphoglyceric acid. Now the phosphoglyceric acid go to C3 cycle and run the Calvin cycle. But comes to phosphoglycolate, it will enter into chloroplast and run the cycle. Here from phosphoglycolate, one inorganic phosphate is sent outside and form another molecule, that is glycolate. This glycolate diffuses into peroxisome where it is oxidized to glyoxolate by the enzyme glycolate oxidase enzyme. Here in glyoxolate, along with the glyoxolate, here one thing you have to concentrate here, hydrogen peroxide H2O2 is also formed. When H2O2 levels increases, it is very harmful to the plant body. So here in peroxisome, a specialty is there, it has a catalase enzyme. This catalase enzyme splits H2O2 into water and oxygen. By that, there is avoiding the loss to plant. That's why the peroxisome is very important to get a loss from the poisonous hydrogen peroxide. After that, the glyoxolate, by taking one amino group, it will form two molecule of glycine, which is also a 2-carbon compound. It is called glycine. It is very simple amino acid. Among the all amino acid, it is a very simple amino acid. Now the glycine will enter into mitochondria. Here the glycine is converted into serine. Here three processes occurring. One is deamination process, where the glycine received amino group and now here it is losing one ammonia. And next thing is it is undergoing decarboxylation process. It is releasing carbon dioxide to out. And third one is oxidation process. The electrons, protons from glycine, it is received by NADH plus and it will converting into NADH2. Totally three processes are happening. What are they? One is deamination process and decarboxylation process and oxidation process. Now the glycine 2C carbon compound, totally 2 into 2, 4 carbons are there. Now children, concentrate here. In these 4 carbons, 1 carbon in the form of carbon dioxide sent it outside. Now this glycine will form as a serine, which is a 3-carbon compound. Now the serine enters into peroxisome and releases one amino group again, which is available to glycine. Now serine, by losing one amino group, it will form into hydroxypyruvate. Now the hydroxypyruvate undergo a reduction process. The NADH2 reduced to NAD. Now the electron protons are received by glycerate. And now the glycerate enters into chloroplast by taking the help of adenosine triphosphate and forms into phosphoglyceric acid. Now the phosphoglyceric acid enters into PCR cycle, means Calvin cycle. So here, children, the main theme we have to understand here, when the oxygen is received by RUBP, totally 4 carbon is formed in the form of glycolate. Now at last, we are getting 3 carbon here in the form of PGA. So what about the 1 carbon? 1 carbon in mitochondria loses in the form of carbon dioxide. So 3 by 4, if you take, so 75% is recovered and 25% is lost in the form of carbon dioxide. So that's why, and here 75% is going to PCR cycle, 25% in the form of carbon dioxide. So it is not doing 100% effort. So that's why photorespiration is a very wasteful process for C3 plants. Let's take a recall or synopsis and important points for today class. What we learned today, the photorespiration is a waste process in C3 cycle. So to avoid this, the C4 plants adopted a Crohn's anatomy, which has a bundle sheath cells and the mesophyll cells lacking the Rubisco enzyme present in bundle sheath cells. So that is due to the different adaptation in Crohn's anatomy. They are able to produce more glucose than compared to C3 plants. So in C4 plants, the first stable compound is oxaloacetic acid, which is a C4 4-carbon compound. That's why it is named as C4 cycle, which is a 4-carbon compound. It is also called as C4 pathway. Photosynthesis process completes in 2 cells. One is mesophyll cell and another is bundle sheath cells. So CO2 received by RUBP convert into malic acid. Now the molecular acid is entered into bundle sheath cells where it splits into CO2 and pyruvic acid. Now CO2 is received by RUBP and runs C3 cycle. Now pyruvic acid convert into PEP and again it is ready to receive RUBP to continue the cycle. Now the pyruvic acid generates PEP to continue the cycle. CO2 enter into Calvin cycle to produce glucose. In some desert plants, the CO2 fixation is different. Why? Because they are living in a hot and dry climates. So C4 and C3 pathway run, but the difference is in time. In night time, they are fixing carbon dioxide and they are preparing the glucose in a daytime, and remaining all is a same process. These plants are called cactus plants. They are belongs to the family Crassulaceae. That's why it is called as Crassulaceae acid metabolism. When oxygen percentage is more, RUBP receives oxygen, starts photorespiration. And in previous PPT, you have seen that for in photorespiration, it will form two molecules of phosphoglycolate, which turns into glycolate, glyoxolate, and form glycine and serine, hydroxypyruvate, and next to RUBP. Here in this cycle, 75% of carbon is recovering, and so 25% carbon is not recovered. That is, it is sent outside in the form of carbon dioxide. So it is not efficient process. So that's why when compared to C4, C3 are less efficient to produce more glucose. Thank you very much for giving a nice opportunity to complete this chapter.
Mahesh Garu,
Sir.
please explain about this C4 cycle once again. There is a question in the chat box.
Okay, sir.
C4 cycle.
So here the main thing is, sir, when compared to C3 cycle, so in C3 cycle, the CO2 is received by RUBP and lastly converts into glucose. That is already we learnt in a previous class. That process is happening in C4 also. But the difference is, to avoid photorespiration, these C4 plants adopted some different process. The process is happening in mesophyll cells and in bundle sheath cells. If the Rubisco enzyme is present in bundle sheath cells, not in mesophyll cells. Suppose the Rubisco enzyme present in mesophyll cells, they may catch the more oxygen and they can start photorespiration. Suppose here CO2 is there. In mesophyll cells, these are very near to stomata. If the concentration of oxygen is more than the CO2, along with that, if the mesophyll cells having the Rubisco enzyme here, the Rubisco will let the RUBP to take oxygen and let them to photorespiration. So that is the main thing. That's why it is avoiding and make adopted. The Rubisco is absent in mesophyll cells. The Rubisco is present in bundle sheath cells. That's why C3 cycle is happening in bundle sheath cell. But to increase the CO2 concentration, they are doing this long process by taking CO2 received by PEP and forming oxaloacetic acid, which is further converted into malic acid and which is entering into bundle sheath, splits into carbon dioxide and pyruvic acid. Now this CO2, the Rubisco enzyme let RUBP to combine and form phosphoglyceric acid to run the Calvin cycle. That is the main thing, sir. That is the difference. To avoid photorespiration, it is doing a long process.
Thank you, dear Mahesh. So today we discussed about the C4 cycle, cross-relation acid metabolism, and photorespiration. Actually, majority of the plants in our surroundings, they perform C3 cycle only, Calvin cycle. But some plants evolved the mechanism for the C4 pathway cross-relation acid metabolism. In the same way, all the plants also perform the photorespiration. Photorespiration is a wasteful process, but the question may arise, why plants are performing a wasteful process? The reason is that earlier there was less oxygen concentration was there in the earth environment. So bacteria developed such enzyme, Rubisco enzyme. So during the evolution, more amount of oxygen accumulated in the environment. It is gradually continued with the same mechanism process. So that is why the plants still continuing with the photorespiration process, but some plants, as Mahesh told, C4 pathway, they are employing the C4 pathway. By means of C4 pathway, the plants can perform the photosynthesis with 100% efficiency. So different plants employs a different mechanism to synthesize the food material. That's what we given the definition, the photosynthesis process. By using the carbon dioxide combining with the water molecule in the presence of the sunlight, if the plants are able to synthesize glucose molecules, that is called photosynthesis. We are discussing about the general pathway, that is Calvin cycle, and we also discussed about the alternate pathways such as C4 cycle, CAM obstacles that are faced by the plants such as photorespiration. In the next class, we will discuss about the factors affecting the photosynthesis process. Whenever any plant or animal performs certain activity, it definitely influenced by the various environmental factors, various intrinsic and extrinsic factors. So in the same way, the process of photosynthesis is also being influenced by different factors like temperature, light, and other things. So we'll discuss about the factors influencing the photosynthesis in the next class, and we will also sum up once again the entire process of photosynthesis, because photosynthesis and respiration are two important topics, important physiological activities that are taking place in the plants, which requires repeated attention to understand. So in the next class, we will sum up in a beautiful manner to conclude the photosynthesis process. Dear principals, teachers, and students, thank you for attending this session. Thank you very much. Mahesh, congratulations to you also.
Thank you,
You
sir.
delivered the lecture in a beautiful manner. So you are able to give the clear differences between the C3 plants, C4 plants, and the reason why photorespiration is taking place. We enjoyed your session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Mm,